Good morning, this is Godotti's class. I'm your mystery reader. I'm Brady's dad, Brian. You want to say hi?
So hi. And did you guys see our videos? Right? Right, Jack? Mm-hmm. You were in it, right?
You want to introduce your brother?
Yeah, this is my brother Jack. He's 3 years old. He's almost going to be 4 in May 2nd.
Nice. All right, so Brady likes baseball, and so do I, and so does Jack. So we're going to read a book.
Yeah, but basketball's my favorite.
Basketball's your favorite sport. But we're going to read a book called Growing Up Pedro.
And,
It's about
Pedro Martinez, who he used to be on the Red Sox. He most popular on the Red Sox, but he was on also different teams.
Right.
But he was the best on the Red Sox.
He was,
and he stayed most years on them.
And I think he's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, he's in
MLB.
the Hall of Fame. Definitely the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Nice. All right, so this is a book about Pedro, and it's about growing up to be a really good baseball player.
Connor did that. Mom brought that to Connor.
Yeah?
At his school.
One sunny day in the village of Mongobolo, Pedro Martinez sits in the shade and watches the older boys play. He wants to play too, but his big brother, Ramon, says he's too little. The boys are using a hard ball, and Ramon says it's too dangerous. Pedro is mad, but he knows Ramon is just looking out for him. Ramon is always looking out for Pedro. Despite his anger, Pedro watches Ramon pitch. He's the greatest pitcher Pedro had ever seen. Pedro has 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Ramon is the oldest. He's the baseball star of the family. Pedro wishes he was tall, like Ramon. He wishes he could throw hard, like Ramon. He spends hours out behind the house every day, throwing rocks at the mango trees. He tries to hit only the ripe ones, just like Ramon taught him. Pedro loves playing baseball. He dreams that someday he and his brother will play together in the major leagues. At night, they lie awake, to a mattress, and talk about what they will do when they are millionaires. By the time Ramon is 15, he's pitching against grown men in games around Santo Domingo. Sometimes Pedro walks for miles just to watch him pitch. At 16, Ramon is the youngest player on the Dominican national team. The Dodgers offer him a contract. They pay him $5,000. Not much by big league standards, but more money than the Martinez family has ever seen. Ramon uses some of the money to buy his little brother Pedro his first real baseball glove. In 1984, when Pedro was 12, Ramon starts training at Campos Lomas, the Dodgers Dominican Baseball Academy, a 2-hour bus ride from where the Martinez family grew up. Every chance he gets, Pedro tags along. Sometimes he even gets to play catch with Ramon on the field before practice. For Pedro, it's like a dream. He can't believe he's on a real baseball field with real professional ball players. He is so proud of his big brother. One day, a coach for the Dodgers watches Pedro pitching to Ramon. The coach tells Pedro that if he works hard, maybe someday the Dodgers will sign him too. In 1985, days before his 17th birthday, Ramon leaves for his first season in America. Pedro is so happy for Ramon, but it breaks his heart to see him go. Now that Ramon is gone, Pedro is more determined than ever to make it to the major leagues. Every day he practices and practices. For Ramon, adjusting to life in America is not easy. When his team stops to eat at a restaurant, he doesn't know what to order because all the menus are in English. He can't talk to anyone. Ramon tells Pedro all about it. He wants to make sure that when it's Pedro's turn, his little brother is ready. Pedro keeps practicing. He starts studying English every day. He is ready to try out for the Dodgers. Dozens of other boys are trying out too. Most of them are much bigger and stronger than Pedro. He works hard and does his best, but the Dodgers scouts aren't sure. He's still so much smaller than Ramon. They worry that he just isn't big enough to make it into professional baseball. Finally, after a 30-day tryout, the Dodgers decide to give Pedro a chance. They pay him $6,500. He gives all the money to Ramon. In 1990, the Dodgers assigned Pedro to their minor league team in Great Falls, Montana. Pedro says goodbye to his family and leaves for America. By now, Ramon is a star in the big leagues, the ace of the Dodgers. In 1990, he wins 20 games and is the runner-up for the National Cy Young Award. Some of Pedro's teammates in the minors think Pedro is only there because he's the great Ramon Martinez's little brother. Pedro works hard to prove that he belongs. He keeps working on his English too. During long bus rides, he stares out the window and tries to read every road sign. Oops, I forgot to show them the picture, Jack. That's him leaving for America.
Yeah.
Pedro races his way up through the Dodgers minor league system. Then, in September 1992, his dream comes true. For the first time in his life, Pedro gets to play on the same team as his big brother. Pedro and Ramon are in the major leagues together. Pedro is so small and skinny. When he arrives at Dodger Stadium, the security guard doesn't believe he's actually on the team. "Hey, who are you?" he asks. Pedro smiles. "I'm the bat boy," he says. The security guard isn't the only one who thinks Pedro is too small. The Dodgers manager, Tommy Lasorda, doesn't think Pedro is big enough to make it as a starting pitcher. So Pedro pitches out of the bullpen and quickly becomes one of the best relievers in baseball. After the 1993 season, Pedro gets a call from the Dodgers. He can't believe the news. He's been traded to the Montreal Expos.
The Montreal Expos aren't a team anymore. What did they change for? The Nationals?
The Nationals, I think.
The Nationals.
At first, Pedro is devastated. He doesn't want to leave Ramon and moves to a new city where he doesn't know anybody. He's worked so hard to learn English, but most people in Montreal speak French. Ramon calms Pedro down. He tells his little brother that maybe this could be good for him. The Dodgers were never going to let him be a starting pitcher. Maybe in Montreal he'll get his chance. It turns out Ramon is right. Pedro goes to Montreal in 1994 and immediately joins the starting rotation. Every time he takes the mound, he remembers everyone who doubted him. With every pitch, he tries to prove people wrong. Whenever the Expos play the Dodgers and Ramon pitches against Pedro's new team, Pedro can't help but cheer for his big brother. When his teammates ask him to knock it off, Pedro sneaks down to the clubhouse and watches Ramon on TV. In August 1996, Pedro and Ramon are scheduled to pitch against each other. Pedro doesn't want to do it. He never wants to root against Ramon. Ramon explains to Pedro that it's just something they've got to do. Pedro and Ramon both pitch well. As Ramon takes the mound in the 9th inning, with the Dodgers leading 2-1, he sees Pedro in the Expos dugout. Pedro smiles, relieved that it's almost over and happy to lose to his big brother.
Were the Montreal Expos good?
They were okay. They weren't too bad. By 1997, Pedro is the best pitcher in the National League, even better than Ramon.
So
He can throw a 97 mile per hour fastball, a curveball that makes hitters' knees buckle, and a changeup that is almost impossible to hit. Pedro is a superstar now. The Expos know they can't afford to pay him. So, in 1997, they trade him to the Boston Red Sox. In December, Pedro flies to Boston and signs a 6-year, $75 million contract with the Red Sox, making him the highest baseball player of all time. In 1998, on days when Pedro pitches, the streets of Boston buzz with anticipation. By game time, Fenway Park is packed. Fans wave Dominican flags and chant his name. Pedro, Pedro, Pedro.
Pedro.
But unfortunately, 1998 is not a good year for Ramon. He gets hurt and tears a muscle in his shoulder. He'll need surgery, the team doctors say. Ramon worries that he might never pitch again. That's a picture of Fenway Park.
Yeah. If you've ever been there.
On days when it's not his turn to pitch, Pedro never stops talking and dancing and laughing and joking with his teammates. One night, to get him to settle down, his teammates tape him to a pole in the dugout. Pedro loves every minute of it. But when it's his turn to pitch, Pedro is very serious. All day is quiet and focused. When he takes the mound, he imagines he is a lion fighting for his food.
This is a long book.
In 1999, Pedro has one of the greatest seasons ever. He wins 15 games before the All-Star break. He's the starting pitcher of the All-Star game and dazzles the home crowd at Fenway Park by striking out of the six batters he faces. Meanwhile, Ramon is working hard to get back on the field after surgery. Late in 1999, he makes it all the way back to the Major League and he joins Pedro with the Red Sox.
Ramon, is he a real person?
Ramon? Sure, it's his brother.
But
He pitched for the Red Sox.
Oh, he did?
And the Dodgers, sure.
He actually did?
Yep. On October 1999, with the Red Sox facing elimination from the playoffs, Ramon leads the team to victory over the Cleveland Indians to keep Boston's seasons alive. Two days later, in the final game of the series, Pedro's right shoulder is so sore he isn't supposed to pitch. But with the score tied 8-8 in the fourth inning, he enters the game. Even though he can't lift his arm up high enough to throw a good fastball, he pitches 6 no-hit innings to send the Red Sox to the American League Championship.
World Series.
Right? Exactly.
It's called a World Series and Championship.
Back in the Dominican Republic, people dance in the streets. Kids tie scraps of metal to their bikes and ride through the darkness. Sparks light up the night like fireworks. That's back home in the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm. That's another country.
Yep. After the season, Pedro celebrates with his family. The little shack is now gone. Pedro and Ramon...
Wait, was that year the one where they won the World Series?
No, that was 2004. Pedro celebrates with his family.
That's when they broke the...
Right. The little shack is gone now. Pedro and Ramon bought all of the land around it and built the special place where the whole family can come together. They call it La Finca, the little farm. After dinner, Pedro and Ramon walk out back to throw rocks at the mango trees. Together they hit one mango after another. Pedro hits only the ripe ones, just like Ramon taught him.
And these are the teams that
These are the teams that Pedro played for.
Or,
Well, let me show the last picture of the book though, Brady.
Oh, yeah.
That's him. That's their new house that they bought for their family. It's a big one. And that's them throwing mangoes at the rocks at the mango trees.
Yeah.
Do you want to say when you met Pedro?
Oh, yeah. I met Pedro Martinez. Was it 2018?
I think so.
Yeah, the beginning of 2018 at Red Sox weekend. But the only bad thing about meeting him, it took so long for him to talk about it. So
Why?
Because, I don't know.
He was very talkative,
Yeah.
very friendly.
Yeah, and it was like a huge line, so it took like almost 45 minutes, an hour.
And didn't we ask him a question about being tied to the pole in the dugout? Because we told him we read his book. What did he say about that?
Yeah, he said
He said it was a really funny thing that his teammates had done to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this book.
Can I read them the teams that they're on?
Sure.
Bye. Where's it?
Right here.
Okay. So 1992, he played for the Dodgers. Then 1993, he still played for the Dodgers. And then his second team was Montreal. What was his team?
Montreal Expos.
Expos. And then third team, Red Sox. Fourth team, is that
New York
the
Mets?
Yeah. And the Mets. And then the last team, Phillies?
Phillies, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, he did play for 1 year.
I know. Mostly on the Red Sox.
And then he retired in 2009.
Nice. Want to say
And
goodbye?
Also, go look at our videos. It's called Grafton's Daily Sports Update.
Grafton Daily Sports Update on YouTube, and that's the YouTube channel.
Sports.
Sports channel.
Yeah, and also my brother Jack up there is also on it. I don't know if he's on the first video.
I don't know.
He might not be on the first video, but second, third, and fourth.
Okay, goodbye, Mrs. Gododi. Bye, class.
Bye.